Today, we are going to be doing the last of the Toldos, the Rabbinic Prohibitions and Shmita. And after that, we'll go on. We have two more subjects we have to cover. One is exactly how all the various solutions to Shmita work, and the other is Shmita's Ksafim. So, on to the Rabbinic Prohibitions. Number 28, mefsegin. Now, what this is not exactly clear, unless you look at the Rishonim. Rashi says something that is essentially accepted by everyone. As I said, the word to us isn't clear. So Rashi says, Somכים האילן שהוא רענן יותר מדאי. That I prop up a tree that's too healthy. It's got too many leaves on it. The branches are growing too thickly. So I prop it up so it won't fall down. Rav Kook says in Shabbos Haretz, לפסג es אילנות. What is it that is prohibited to support trees on Shmita? היינו לסמוך בעצים אילן שהוא רענן יותר מדאי. This is that I cannot use beams of wood, to support a tree that's too healthy. ולסוברים שמותר לאוקמי אילנא בכל מיני עבודות. Those people that say that you're allowed to do any of the Rabbinic prohibitions so that the tree will not die. לא נאמר איסור זה כי אם כשהוא יכול לעמוד בלא סמיכה גם כן על מעמדו. They only say that this prohibition exists when the tree could stand on its own. It just won't grow much more because it can't hold the weight. אלא שלא יוסיף להתגדל, but it will not continue to grow anymore. אבל אם עלול להיות פוחת על ידי מניעת הסמיכה, but if it will continue to become worse, meaning the limb may crack or things may die, muter לסמוך also כדי לאוקמי אילנא. Then I'm allowed to hold it up to allow the tree to continue to exist. Now, the Chazon Ish disagrees with this. And he says that this is a unique one of the malachos to Rabbanan, and that even for a kume ilana, even to allow the tree to continue to exist, the Rabbanan prohibited this. So in no instance, according to the Chazon Ish, would you be able to support a branch and stop it from breaking. 29, kishkush. The Gemara says about kishkush, we'll see in a second what it may be. The kishkush b'shvius mishari, who allows us to do kishkush on Shmita? Hadechsi v'shvius tishmatena v'nitashta. It says two things about Shmita. On the shvius, tishmatena and v'nitashta, meaning you will surely ban it. What does this mean? Tishmatena milikashkesh. Tishmatena means I will not do kishkush. V'nitashta milasakel, I will not remove stones from the field or from around the trees. Amar Rav Ukva bar Chama. Rav Ukva bar Chama says, Trei kishkushe havu. There are two types of kishkush. Chad evrue elana, v'chad stume pile. One is to make the tree grow better, and one is to fill in holes that have developed where insects perhaps could get in or other things. Ivrue ilana asur, stume pile shari. If I'm doing it to make the tree grow better, it's prohibited. If I'm doing it to fill in holes, then it is permitted. So Rashi explains kishkush, haynu idur. This is hoeing. Ela she'idur b'kvanim v'kishkush b'zeisim. The difference is idur is with grapes and kishkush is with olive trees. The Miri disagrees. He has a different way of looking at it. And his v'ken mikashkin tachas esim, and in fact we do kishkush under the olives. V'u chafira mu'etes. This is a little bit of digging. Hanikra b'lashon the Talmud stume pile, and the Gemara calls it filling up the holes. Mipnei hu asui listom hanekavim hanasim b'shorish ilan. And I do this to fill the holes in the roots of the tree so that the wind, the weather won't get into them and dry up the tree and make it die. But if I do this not out of concern that the tree would die, Elashpicha lalos bit hatzmachto v'hu anikra evrue ilana aser. But if I'm doing it to help the tree grow more, I'm not afraid it's going to die. I just want it to grow better. In that case, it is prohibited. So the Meiri says it's working with the roots of the tree, and Rashi says it's a kind of weeding, removing the top of the weeds from under a olive tree, not under anything else. Number 30, gizum. Gizum in modern Hebrew, of course, the same as it was classically, pruning of some kind, trimming a tree. Maishna gizum deshari, maishna zihum deshari, maishna gizum da'aser. What's the difference between using insecticides and things like this to drive away insects, that's permitted, and what's the difference between that and trimming a tree that's prohibited? The Gemara in Avodah Zarah says. Midami, how can you compare them? Zihum ikume elane v'shari. Zihum, I do it to protect the tree from damage, and that's permitted. Gizum avrui elana v'aser. When I prune it, I trim a tree to make it better, to improve the tree, and therefore it's prohibited. 31. Dildo peros or prachim. This is when I have too many fruits or too many flowers growing, and I want to remove some of them so the others will grow better. So in certain ways it seems like pruning. I prune some of the branches off a grapevine so that the grapes will grow better. So if I'm doing it, the Rambam says in Hilchos Shmita and Yovel, he says as follows: Haperish yotzi ha'Ilan b'shvis lo yasvim k'derech she'osef b'kol shana. I'm not allowed to gather the fruits of a tree in the way I do with the whole year, all other years. Naaamar v'yas in vein nizirach lo tivtzor. It says you will not harvest your grapes, at least in the normal way. V'im batzar la'avodas Ilan. If I harvested them to improve the tree, or shebatzar k'derech habotzrim, or if I harvested them in the normal way, loka, then you get lashes. So obviously, removing some of the fruit so that the other fruit will grow better is prohibited. Now, the Aruch HaShulchan says the exact same thing. There's another way of looking at it also. I'm not allowed to destroy the fruit of the Shemitah year. If I harvest this fruit now, if I remove this fruit now, it will never ripen. And so I've destroyed the fruit I'm harvesting right now, and that could be a prohibition also. According to Rav Kook, where the only work that I'm allowed to do on trees in Shmita is to preserve the tree, then since I'm doing this to make the fruit better, it would be prohibited. According to Chazon Ish, where if I do something to make the fruit better, or make the fruit live, I should say, that's also kume ilana, and according to him, it would seem that this would be mutter. Now we have another thing with a tree where a branch begins to break. Can I tie it up, reattach it in such a way that it will get better or not? That's called an ilan nifsach. And if the tree would die from the loss of this branch, or the branch is a valuable branch and it would be lost without this, then it would be mutter. Otherwise, it would be prohibited. I mean, if it's not a valuable branch and it's going to fall off and it won't be a loss to the tree, then of course it would be prohibited. As I said, this is the last of the Rabbinic prohibitions on Shmita, and next time we will start talking about the various solutions to the problems of Shmita and which ones are better than others. Everyone should have a wonderful day.